we just came back basically like 2-3 weeks ago from the Etsy Kings Mexico trip, where like 30 guys flew out from all around the world, a lot of UK guys, a lot of European guys as well, all flew to Mexico, and a bunch of people were staying together, but you were part of like this super nice crib where it's like 8 of you in like one big house, which is super, super cool. So like, how was the networking element of just like kind of online business, online stuff? Like, how was that like actually improved your money making ability and just improved your life?
Yeah, so the networking of Etsy Kings has scaled everything so much more than I expected, because what happens is with Etsy, you have to learn everything yourself to make it. So you got to go through all of these failures to eventually know what you're doing. Whereas with the networking, you're talking to someone on Telegram, but when you're talking to on Telegram, there's still a little bit of gatekeeping, not intentional gatekeeping, but like, because you haven't met the person, they're not going to spill all the sauce, which is making them a lot of money. Whereas when I came to networking events, you get closer to the people, you build relationships, and then naturally more information gets spilled.
Yeah.
So like literally today, one of the Etsy Kings boys, he gave me access to their VA, which handles all of the listings, all of the images, everything. So literally today, without me having to train a VA or go through all of the hardship of it, I've literally been handed someone which is going to save me hours, and the ROI is going to be crazy on it, just because I've met that person in real life. So that wouldn't have come without the networking. And he literally, when he put in the group, he says, if I've met you in real life, then message me and I can help you out. And that is literally from the networking side of things. So
honestly, people really underestimate that. And honestly, even that's a massive thing I push in Etsy Kings, to come to the in-person events. Like if you're watching this from Etsy Kings right now, like please come to the in-person events. Like they're so valuable. It doesn't have to be one halfway across the world in Mexico. There's one in Nottingham. I don't know when this is coming out, but there's one in Nottingham like next week or 2 weeks, something like this, right? There's one in a few weeks in Nottingham in the UK. It's like perfect, middle of England. Everyone can easily come. Even if it's like a 6-hour drive, like you should come. It's always worth it. Because you are right. Like everyone's just kind of naturally a little bit cautious when you're Telegram messaging someone. Like obviously they're going to give a bunch of game, but it's like they're always going to hold a little bit back. And it's never, the conversation never flows, because maybe they don't respond for 3 hours and then you don't respond for a day or something like this, and then maybe you miss their message. The conversation doesn't flow.
It just gets lost.
It gets lost, right? Whereas even at the conference, right, you were asking so many questions back and forth to me. Like we have all the footage and stuff. It's like you asked like 7 questions back and forth because you didn't understand something I was saying, and then you ask the question immediately, and then I give a response and I go more in detail into that. So it's like so much. It's so incredibly different in person, and it sounds fucking weird to just be like, I'm meeting a bunch of people. I'm going to Mexico. Yeah. Like the youngest guy that came was 17, right? Like Callum. It's like, imagine telling your parents when you're 17, like, I'm going to Mexico, like halfway across the world. I don't think he's left the UK that. He hasn't done that much. He's 17.
He's 18. I think.
He's 18.
Sure,
He's 18 now, I think. Yeah, pretty recently though. Yeah. But and he's like gone halfway across the world to meet like 30 fucking grown men.
It sounds so weird. Yeah.
But obviously it's so valuable because it's just the human connection, right? It's like so many people talk online, but it's like the actual human connection just builds such a deeper level of trust and such a deeper level of just education almost, I think is the best thing to put it, right?